Well, this would be to either of you. There's a lot of talk about alternative medicine or homeopathic medicine, herbs, body work, that kind of thing. I'm wondering what your experience. I mean, you probably are in contact with mainstream medical operations. You certainly know about it. I'm wondering what's the trend these days? Are doctors being trained a little bit in what we used to call Eastern medicine or alternative practices, or have we gone back to a more mainstream, and you refer to white medicine, which is pills and drugs, or red medicine, which is cut, slash, and burn? And just what is the state of our medical establishment today, and what are the hopes for some new way of looking at things and including of these methods that you're putting out there?
Well, if I can answer first, I have two physicians. One is an internist, the other one is a rheumatologist. My rheumatologist does not push pills. He's a wonderful person. He works for the Illinois Bone and Joint Center, and I'm trying to get them to invite Dr. Frank there. They do a lot of education. My doctor is an MD who believes in Eastern medicine and spiritual treatment. He's been my doctor since 1985. He's never ever given me any type of drugs or medication because he knows I will not accept him. He works with me, and he allows me to take control of my health, no matter what the physical appearance is, no matter what the prognosis is. I think I've had 3 death sentences from hospitals, and I'm still here. He's brought in some doctors from India who practice Ayurvedic medicine to see me. He's constantly upgrading his education and his practice. And he told me himself that he actually admires me for the manner in which I take charge of my health. Now, I also receive physical therapy, pool therapy, from Swedish Covenant. They're getting more into alternative medicine, and I'm trying to get Dr. Frank there as well. They're doing a lot of things in alternative medicine. Now, Northwestern, it varies. That doctor that I have there, she tries to push the medicine. She tells me, as she prefaces it with, I know you're not going to take it, but I got to offer it to you anyway.
And Dr. Frank, what's your take on where the young doctors coming out of medical school are at?
Well, there is an organization called the American Academy of Medical Acupuncture, and they have about 13,000 docs that are trained primarily through Joe Helms at UCLA. It's a 200-hour course. And that's certainly a dent in that domain of heroic medicine. I also work on staff at the Riverside Hospital down in Kankakee at a family practice down there. But the biggest impediment, there's an old saying, you don't want to put fresh wine in old skins. And the old skin is very high fees with a lot of diagnostics. In other words, the conventional model is so overwrought with the scope of practice requirements with standard of care, and the standard of care is written pretty much by doctors in the employ of the drug companies, and they say this is the way you have got to treat this disease, or you're more susceptible to liability, which is the worst thing in the world a doctor wants to handle. So this is a teaching model. The Barefoot Doctor program, if you read through this book that was published by the U.S. Department of Health, Education, and Welfare in 1974, translated by the Fogarty Center, and it's the manual that was published in China to train the 2 million doctors. It came out in 1970. And so the point is it's a teaching model. My next step with Dr. Maat is to teach her the system, and so that she can then wind up teaching others, because the progression is learn, do, teach others to teach others. And the progression is from information, which is what we're about today, to education, which is the next step through our healing centers, which are teaching centers, the One Village Teaching Center, AccuCenter, and then the third step is application. We're actually putting...
What is that little gadget you have in your hand that you pulled out a little earlier?
It's a 2 meg flash drive where we'll have like the diabetes formula, because we've got, if you go to Women and Children First, 1ST, womenandchildrenfirst.blogspot.com, you'll see a guy, about a 6'4" guy, who took his blood sugar from 200 down to 110 using a $2.99 laser pen from Walgreens on the acupuncture points I showed him on the palm of his hand. So what we're doing is we're treating problems before they get out of hand by using the hand therapy that Taiwu developed back in 1974. And so you use this laser pen to stimulate the points. The Germans are doing great jobs of teaching the microsystems, of which the hand is one, and laser therapy, which activates, if you want to create a hologram, you shine a laser through a mirror and you create the whole from the part. This does the same thing with the microsystem of the hand very quickly. So it's the barefoot doctor literally going digital with the flash drive on the digits of the hands.
You know, we would like to talk about this for a long time. It's something that I'm really interested in, but we have three sets of guests on an hour show. So I'm going to ask Dr. Maat to tell us a little bit about the event that's coming up next Saturday at the church and how people can find out more from both of you about what's going on.
Okay, we're having a 4-hour event, Barefoot Medicine Goes Digital, at United Church of Rogers Park, located at 1545 West Morris. That's on the 3rd floor in Overdyer Hall. That's Saturday, July 11, right here in Rogers Park. It's a 4-hour event because we really want people to be able to ask basic questions of Dr. Yurasek. If they want treatment, if they want to take the training, he'll be available. And we also want people to know that there's an alternative to medicine, to surgery, to intrusive medicine. We also want them to know that it's perfectly fine for them to seek choices outside of normal medical practice. A lot of people think that this is illegal, and we want some of them to buy the Barefoot Doctor's Manual or read it and learn some of the techniques or have a review of some of the techniques that might be used, and to have externships. We invite nurses, interns, current doctors, practitioners, therapists, women, and children. This is something that children can learn as well.
This will be great. I tell you, this really is exciting to me. I like the idea. I like healing, the concept of people taking action at a time when a lot of us are clamoring for single-payer health insurance, and it's certainly a public aspect to health care. This takes it a little further. This really would put it in the hands of the people and allow them to make a real difference.
And control costs.
Control costs, which is key at this day and age, to say the least. So I want to thank both of you for coming on. Do either of you have a website that you would like to bark out over the air here so people could contact you directly?
Yes. www.greenthinktank.blogspot.com. Yes, I have a green think tank. And also Dr. Yurasek has a website at www.acuwerks, that's acuworks.com. They can also RSVP by calling me at 773-416-7366, or they can email acuwerks@gmail.com. Thank you, Michael.
Thanks both of you for coming on live from the Heartland. This is good, and we'll probably have both of you back on at some time. And if you're around after the show, I'll be talking to you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Okay.
Let's have a round of applause for Dr. Maat and Dr. Yurasek. Dr. Frank.